Ross, always good to see you. So let's talk Musk. Let's talk robotaxis. Different headlines, Ross. My colleague Praz was just talking about this, that the company started robotaxi rides with no safety monitor present in the cars in Austin. And then you heard Musk there at Davos, Ross, who was saying Tesla robotaxis will be widespread in the U.S. by the end of this year. What do you make of it, Ross?
Every goal from Elon is by the end of the year. Every year he has a bunch of goals that are by the end of the year that never happen. So I don't think that really matters. I think the proof is in the pudding, which is you can go outside right here in Santa Monica right now and take Waymos left and right. They're everywhere. They're very successful. Robotaxi is solved, and it's solved by Waymo, and they're scaling rapidly. This idea that Tesla is going to be able to rapidly scale robotaxi on hardware for cars, I think has not been proven. And until it is proven, it's a level 2 system. Now, I just got the new software uploaded onto my car. It's 14.223 now, so I haven't tried it yet, but I'm still having issues with the software, and I still think it's not done, and I don't think it's solved at Tesla.
Let me ask you, Ross, kind of broad. Listen, you're an investor, longtime tech investor, so I'm just curious, more broadly, just beyond just Tesla, when you think about the economics of a robotaxi market, Ross, like not near term, not medium term, let's think long term. What does that look like to you? What do you think growth and margins for such an industry could look like?
You know, I spent a ton of time thinking about this because of Tesla and because of Google, which is now my largest investment in my fund GK, and also for my firm, that's not true, NVIDIA is still larger, but in my fund, Google is our top pick right now, and you know, because they've solved so many of these issues. So longer term, what does this look like? Well, it looks like an ad platform to me, because it only costs about $1 a mile or less to buy a Tesla and just drive it around. So until the cost is below $1 a mile, which right now it's about 3 times that cost to use a robotaxi, you know, it's still expensive to ride share relative to owning your own car. So first, that has to be solved. Once that's solved and the cost comes down, then you get into this race to the bottom because you have no barriers to entry. You have lots of competitors that have NVIDIA-based systems that will all be equipped in the next 5 years. And so the real question is, how can you generate revenue with a robotaxi when you're not making much money on fares? And so that's advertising, and that's where Google is also in the lead. You'll probably be watching YouTube in the car. There'll be ads on the car or in the car, but in the future, there'll have to be other revenue sources driving the profit margins of robotaxis. So I see this as a highly competitive, difficult business, and one, you know, that I think is already kind of being mastered by, you have the old player in Uber and you have the new player in Waymo.
So we talked robotaxis. I want your thoughts on robots as well, Ross, because Musk was making news there too, talking about how robots could eventually outnumber humans. Let's talk about that robot revolution, Ross. I mean, do you think, okay, yes, long term, that is technology that could upend, redefine verticals, you know, households, factories, everything in between?
No, I think there's a limit to where robots will be, and I think that limit does run into the household versus working in, you know, factories where robotics is already being rapidly deployed, not only from Amazon but so many other companies. So robotics, there might be tons of robots in the future, but they're not going to look like humans. They're going to look like the issues they're trying to solve. Like my kid's tennis robot that hits him balls does not look like a human swinging a racket, and so it's a very good, effective training tool. My kid just bought this robot thing for tennis, and it's great, but it doesn't look like a human. And humans have lots of limitations, as I've learned playing tennis, by hurting my foot. And so your feet are very, very difficult to make. And so this idea that we're going to have robots walking around like humans and handling things with our hands and having the brains and even the memory chips to even have brains, anything like a human, to perform stupid tasks like folding, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. That vision I don't see. So I see robotics being a major, major theme for investors moving forward from an industrial perspective, but not from a consumer.
Another headline I want to run by you, Ross. The headlines were dropping fast and furious today. Your timing is impeccable as always. Report saying SpaceX, Ross, you saw this, lining up bankers for a potential IPO. In terms of timing, they're saying could be this year, valuing SpaceX at around $800 billion. What do you make of that news?
Well, we've been hearing a lot of this already, and I think it's great news if you work at SpaceX, and we work with lots of people at SpaceX, so we couldn't be more excited at our firm for our clients and hopefully our future SpaceX clients, because if you work at SpaceX, we're here to help, and we have lots of clients there because it's a local company here. So we're very excited for SpaceX and what they've accomplished, and the valuation doesn't make sense, but that's not my problem per se, and nor would I personally be buying the IPO at $800 billion. But I think there's value in SpaceX, and it's a wonderful company. It's just what that value will be determined by the market eventually when it goes public. But I think most of the private companies today are vastly overvalued.
With Musk, though, Ross, is there key man risk at SpaceX in the way we talk about with Tesla?
I think it's different because SpaceX are really run by Gwen Shotwell. So the people at SpaceX are supremely, competent people with or without Elon. Elon, of course, is a huge asset to the company. But I think the reality is SpaceX performs pretty well without him. Unlike Tesla, which certainly has fallen behind in the last year because of Elon's not working at Tesla and working in the government. And he seems to be really focused at XAI right now, which is, doing a lot. So Tesla's kind of like the third thing on the list right now, still, despite a $1 trillion pay package and everything else. But he's having a lot of success in certain areas of his business, and he has a lot of challenges in certain areas of his business. So it's typical Elon. He's got a lot of moving parts, and some of it's doing pretty well, and SpaceX would be on that side of the coin, and some of it's not, and that's where Tesla is.
Ross, always good to see you, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.